Some 3000 years ago, the ancient Greek poet Homer popularized the Trojans and their ill-fated city in his powerful epic, the Iliad. The poems tell the story of a decade-long war between Greece and Troy, fought by such timeless characters as Achilles and Hector. The verses speak of epic romance, sheer cunning, and tragic consequences. While some have argued that Troy was a myth, others believe in the existence of the city. So is Troy more than just a tale? If it is, where does it exist today, and what led to its destruction? This is the World Affair. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Since antiquity, Troy was believed to be located in Troad, which is the modern Biga Peninsula in the northwest corner of modern-day Turkey. For centuries, the allure of the story led many to the ground where they believed heroes once walked. For instance, Alexander the Great visited the site in 334 BC. He made sacrifices at the tomb associated with the Homeric heroes Achilles and Patroclus. In the early 19th century, Charles MacLaren and Frank Calvert were the first to link a mound containing long-abandoned settlements with the site of ancient Troy. But the real breakthrough in the search came in 1870. Heinrich Schliemann, a German millionaire and a self-taught archaeologist, was in Turkey on an eccentric quest. He traveled to Anatolia to uncover the city and prove the truth behind the Iliad. He found Frank Calvert, who convinced him to excavate the artificial mound. As Schliemann dug, he pinned his hopes on seeing the ruins of the most famous city in classical literature, Troy. And he did. Since then, the site has been the subject of extensive excavation and study. Even though there is not enough evidence to prove that the Trojan War happened, experts agree that the excavated settlement was the famous city long sought after. The site of Troy, Hisarlik, is in the northwest corner of modern-day Turkey. Hisarlik first settled in around 3000 BC. Over the next 4000 years, the city sometimes grew, sometimes contracted as its fortunes changed. It is this record of the city that is preserved at Hisarlik. Each layer of the occupation, one on top of the other, represents a phase in the city's history. Archaeological studies revealed that the 100-foot-high mound contains not just one but 9 Troys, each built over the ruins of the one before. These layers have been labeled Troy 1 to 9, with Troy 1 being the earliest settlement and Troy 9 being the most recent. More discoveries are to be made, but we have enough knowledge to get a sense of the city's development over time. Today, archaeologists consider Troy 7a or early Troy 7 to be the likeliest candidate for Homer's Troy. The original Troy, or Troy 1, was a small village, but it flourished and grew. Sometime between 2550 and 2300 BC, Troy 2 was established, which had strong walls encircling a citadel that was relatively small at about 600 feet in diameter, but remarkably prosperous. The walls protected the upper Acropolis, which housed the Megaron-style palace for the king. The city also had a lower town. The city was a flourishing mercantile city since it occupied a strategic location, commanding the entrance to what is now known as the Dardanelles Strait. As every ship from the Aegean Sea heading for the Black Sea had to pass through Dardanelles, the city gained importance. In the Iliad, the Achaeans bridged their ships near the mouth of the river Karamandaris, known as Scamander in antiquity. The citadel stood on a hill across the plains of Karamandaris, where the battles in Iliad took place. The site is some 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles from the coast today. However, during the Bronze Age, the site lay much nearer to the mouth of the river. The river discharged into a large bay that formed a natural harbor which has since been silted up. Recent geological findings largely confirm the accuracy of the Homeric geography of Troy. Troy too was destroyed by a large fire, but the Trojans rebuilt the city with a citadel larger than that of Troy too. However, it had smaller and more condensed houses, suggesting an economic decline. The trend of making a larger circuit of fortified walls continued with each rebuild for Troy 3, 4, and 5, indicating their focus on defense and protection. Surrounding rich agricultural land also contributed to the Trojan wealth. Horse bones have been found on the site in quantity, consistent with the story in Iliad. Horse breeding might as well have played a part in Troy's prosperity. Bones of other animals were also found, showing the rearing and domestication of other animals. Sheep farming must have been significant, as there is evidence for extensive textile production at Troy. These textiles may well have been exported. That's it for today. Please let us know your opinion. In our next episode, we will cover the evidence for Trojan War and what led to the destruction of Troy. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.